So what's the definition of geology? Well, it's a study of Earth, materials that it's made out of, the structure of those specific materials, and the processes that act upon them and react to them. It includes a study of organisms that have inhabited our planet. An important part of it is that geology is a study of how all those materials, structures, processes, and organisms have changed over time and will change. Geologists work to understand the history of our planet. The better that they can understand our past is the better that they can understand our future and how the events and processes of the past might influence the future. So here's some examples of that. Geologists study Earth processes. So a lot of those processes are things like landslides, earthquakes, hurricanes, floods, even eruptions. Now, those can be hazardous to people, so geologists even help people. So they work to understand these processes well enough to avoid building important structures where they might be damaged. If geologists can prepare maps of areas that have flooded in the past, then maybe they can prepare maps of areas that might be flooded in the future, which could save lives. These maps can be used to guide the development of communities and determine where flood protection or flood insurance is needed. Geologists also study Earth materials. Now, people use materials every day, that's obvious. They use oil that's drawn from wells around the world. They use metals from mines around the world. And they also use water that's been drawn from oceans, streams, or even from underground. Now, geologists conduct studies that locate rocks that contain important metals. They plan the mines that produce them and the methods used to remove those metals from the rocks with other metals. They know so much about the earth that they can classify things that accurately. They do similar work to locate and produce oil, natural gas, groundwater, similar things. They also study Earth history. So today we're concerned about climate change. Many people are working on learning about the past climates of the Earth. Well, that's because they want to know how it's changed over time so that they can have that information and it's valuable enough to understand how the climate change will go in the future. So why is geology important to life and the civilization? Well, like I said, it's defined as a scientific study of origin and future of Earth and the structure of Earth. But almost everything we utilize has something to do with Earth. Homes, streets, computers, toys, tools, everything's made of a material that came from Earth. So although the sun is the ultimate energy source, we rely on Earth energy sources, as we'll call them, for our daily energy requirements. There's oil, carbon, nuclear energy. All these things are growing more and more scarce just because we know so much about them and how useful they are. So geology science is of paramount importance to locate those energy sources, how to extract them from the earth more efficiently and at a lower cost, and with the smallest impact on the environment. Water is an important natural resource and is scarce in many parts of the world, despite what you may think. The study of geology can help us find water resources and create water resources, or even find them underground to reduce the impact of water scarcity of people and civilization around the world. Many companies and corporations also rely on the information generated by geology and geologists for their activity. Gold, diamonds, silvers, oils, irons, aluminums, coal, they're all natural resources from Earth. Now, they serve as the basis for so many companies. Geologists and the science of geology are at the core of those business activities. The activity of geologists is essential in helping find these and many other science materials from Earth. Even a simple material such as sand or gravel needs to be found and extracted from Earth and can be utilized in construction of homes, schools, and even the buildings from those very companies. The study of geology also encompasses Earth processes which may affect overall civilization, not just little things like houses. An earthquake can destroy thousands of lives in a few minutes. Tsunamis, floods, hurricanes, landslides, droughts, all these things can have an enormous influence on civilization as a whole. Geologists study those processes and can recommend different plans to minimize damage in case of those events occurring. For example, by studying the flood patterns of rivers, streams, and oceans, geologists can recommend areas to avoid when building new cities, towns, or neighborhoods in order to prevent disasters in the future. Earthquake science, or seismography as some people call it, is a very difficult area of study. It can help minimize damage to life and civilization by estimating where earthquakes are most likely to occur, and we also call those fault lines. To recommend the type of technology to be used in the construction of buildings in those vulnerable areas is very important so that we don't have as much destruction if an earthquake were to happen. So in reality, geology has not been recognized as important in science as it should be. It's more likely that genetics, chemistry, medicine, all these things have received more credit. But the truth is, we all depend on the earth so much, and in turn we depend on geology more than we think. Geology is important, and it'll continue to be very important in life and civilization for the rest of the world, just because that's what we are. We are geologists. We study what we live on. Geology, just like some of the areas that it encompasses, is very crucial, and it's the past, the present, and the future. It will not go away.